Hello students, I hope you all are doing very well. The topic today we are going to discuss is conditional statement and what a conditional statement. It can be known as decision statements or comparison statements. Question may come with the name decision statement, defined decision statement or defined comparison statements. Before discussing about the actual meaning of conditional statement, let me tell you about blocks. Because whenever we talk about conditional statements, I will use the word block, so you must know what is the meaning of a block. When you write few lines of statements in your code and you want those statements to get executed as a single unit, either all of them gets executed or none of them gets executed, you want to make a single unit with lots of statements inside it or one or any number of statements, then that particular grouping is called a block. And how can you create a block? You have to use a header statement, and for a header statement there is a symbol colon. I will explain it practically. After explaining all these details, I will take you to the practical window and I will explain you how to create a block and how can you create your conditional statements. Now let's understand what is the actual meaning of conditional statement. I hope you understand the meaning of block. We can take the example of block here also. Suppose this is the code window and I have created 5 blocks here. This is the first block, this is second block, this is third block, fifth block, sixth block. And the rule is only one block is going to be executed from these 5 blocks. Not all the 5 blocks are going to be executed, or 2 or 3 blocks are going to be executed, but only one block is going to be executed if you are using conditional statement. This is the rule of conditional statement. Only one block out of many number of blocks gets executed. So I have written here the definition that from more than one block of statements, only one block gets executed if condition is true. So I will create a single condition. If that condition comes true, then my first block gets executed. If it goes false, then the next one block gets executed. So the same thing can be explained as that you can create as many blocks as you required, but only one block gets executed. As I have already told you, you can create as many blocks as you want, but only one block gets executed from that list of blocks. Another rule says if the first block condition is true, then all other blocks are not going to be tested. They get skipped by the compiler or the interpreter. Suppose you have made 5 blocks and the fourth block condition is true. That means your compiler or your interpreter will check the first condition, it is false, it will move to the second condition, it is false, third, then it comes to the fourth condition and it comes true. That means that block gets executed, the fourth one, and fifth block is not going to be tested anymore. So these are the rules related to conditional statements. Now let's move forward. Here is the flowchart for depicting or expressing the way this conditional statements works. Here you can see when we move inside the conditional statement, you have to write a statement that checks something. Because I have written a question mark here, that means it will either gives you true or it will gives you false. So if this statement is true, then one block is executes, and if it is false, then another block gets executed. So this is how your conditional statements work. In this particular diagram I have created 2 blocks, but if there is a requirement, you can create many blocks also. Here are few examples where such type of conditional statement are useful. uh, Take this first example and it will make you very much clear about the concept of conditional statement. Suppose we want to check a number. If the number is less than 0, then you want to display that it is a negative number or it is a positive number. So suppose read a number from the user. You take input from the user and you want to display negative or positive, depend on the value. So you will write a conditional statement. If that particular value is less than 0, then you will display that it is a negative number. Otherwise, you will display that it is a positive number. So in this particular question, we will make two blocks. In first block, we will print that the number is negative. In second block, we will print that the number is positive. From these two blocks, only one block is going to be executed depending on the number you entered. Now here is the second question. Check if the number divisible by 2. I am going to make a conditional statement to check whether the number is divisible by 2, and I will tell you how to check the divisibility. If the number is divisible by 2, then you will print that it is an even number. Otherwise, you will print that it is an odd number. Similarly, you have to check the input character. If that particular input character is A or E or I or O or U, any one of them, then you will display that it is a vowel. Otherwise, it is a consonant. I have also given an example of marks or the percentage. You accept the percentage and you check whether the student is fail or pass, or you calculate the percentage and you want to display whether the student is fail or pass. Then you will create a conditional statement on that marks. If the marks is more than 33%, then the student is pass, otherwise fails. One more example is here. I'm going to read two sides of a rectangular shape. If these two sides are same, then you will display that it is a square. Otherwise, you will display that it is a rectangle. So let me take you to the code window, and on that window we are going to perform all these practically. I have opened my Jupyter notebook and I am going to perform the first conditional statement practical, in which I will read a number from the user and I will check whether it is positive or negative. That was my first example. So let's take one input from the user, and if you don't know how to take input from the user, I have made a separate video for that. Go through that and you will come to know. Here I am going to take a variable, let's say n, in which I will take integer value from the user, and the message I want to display, enter the number. This is the message I want to display on the screen, in which user will provide a number, and that number is stored in n now. I will check this particular value whether it is positive or negative, for which I have to check whether it is less than 0 or not. Now here comes the role of conditional statement. For creating a conditional statement, you have to use if, because we are checking if it is true or not. This is the simple way. So we have to write if, and if under this particular if we will write the condition. My condition is n is less than 0. This is how you can write your condition, and use colon. Always mark colon after writing your complete if statement, because this colon depicts that it is a header statement and it will create a block for you, which is necessary for conditional statements. Now as you can see, when I placed this colon and I pressed enter, my cursor automatically came at this location. I can show you the difference. If you won't put this colon here and you press enter, then your cursor will go to the starting location of the next line. But once you put this colon, it comes to after some spaces. This is called indentation. This particular spacing is called indentation, which is very necessary to create a block. I cannot create block from this location. It will not create a block. You have to write it after some spaces. So let me create a block here. What I want to do, if n is less than 0, I want to simply print the number is negative. This is what I want to display if n comes less than 0. Otherwise, what I want to do, for otherwise statement, I will not write if, I will write else, and also colon after else. Here I will print the number is positive. See, it shows I have made two blocks. This is my first block and this is my second block. But when this code gets executed, it will run only one block depending on this particular condition. If this condition is true, then first block gets executed. If this condition false, then second block gets executed. Suppose I enter a number -3. Then when this if checks -3 less than 0 true, because -3 is less than 0, that means this condition is true. So what type of output I am going to get? I will get the number is negative. This is what you will get, because this gets true for -3. But if you provide +3 positive number, that is 3, then this condition gets false because 3 is not less than 0. So this particular block will not get executed. Another block, that is else block, it's going to be executed. Let me run this program for you, then you will understand it. Here I am going to enter number -5, suppose. So it is displaying the number is negative because -5 is less than 0. N will be replaced by this -5. So -5 is less than 0, which is true. That means the number is negative. Okay, so this is how you can create blocks. Now let's work on second question, that was to check even odd. For even odd, I have to check whether the number is divisible by 2 or not. So again I have to take input from the user, same step, and in this particular if statement I have to change my condition because I don't want to check whether the number is less than 0 this time. I want to check whether the number is divisible by 2. So for divisibility, what are you going to check? For divisibility, we always check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, that means number divisible. If the remainder is not 0, then that particular number is not divisible. So for remainder, we will use modulus symbol. Remember it, n modulus 2, because we want to check divisibility by 2. So this modulus symbol is used to, it is called the operator, modulus operator. It is used to provide remainder. So when n is divided by 2 and we want to check its remainder, what we want to check? Whether it is 0 or not. For equality, you will always use double equal to symbol in conditional statements. Single equal to statement are not going to be used for conditions. always double equal to symbols for equality you are going to use. So here I am checking if the remainder of this division is 0, that means n is divisible by 2, so I will display the number is even, otherwise number is odd. Now let's run it. Suppose I enter 23, so it should display it is an odd number. Yes, it is displaying it is an odd number. Why? Let me check here. 23, n is replaced by 23, and you divide 23 by 2. What remainder you will get? You will get 1. That means 1 is equal to 0. No, it is false. That means this block will not get executed. So the second block, which says the number is odd, going to be displayed. Now let's do it again. Here I am providing a number 22. So 22, it is displaying it is even number. Let's check it. N is replaced by 22 and divide 22 by 2. So remainder is going to be 0. So 0 is equal to 0, true. Therefore first block gets executed. The number is even. Now let's come to the third question. In third question we want to check whether the input character is a vowel or not. Okay, so for this case I am taking a variable ch. You can take any variable. Here I will take input, enter the character. This time I am not taking integer value, I am taking only a character or a string value, and I want to check whether it is a vowel or not. So here I will introduce a new operator, that is in operator. I want to check whether ch is in a, e, i, o, u. These are the vowel list. So I have to write if ch in this. That means it will, this if will check that particular input character is present in this list. That means it is a vowel. So I will print it is a vowel. Otherwise, else I will print it is a consonant. Okay, let's run it. A. Character is A. Yes, it is a vowel because A is present in the list. Here it is, right? Another, let's write W. It is a consonant because W is not present in the list, so it will provide false. It is not in this particular list, so it will give you false. False means else is going to be executed. I want you all to perform rest of the question in the similar way. I will show those questions again to you. Are the following questions. I have performed first one, second and third question for you. I want you to perform this percentage question and the shape question. These are very simple. In this percentage one, you can read the marks of Hindi, English, Maths or any 5 subjects in 5 variables, then find out the percentage, and for that percentage you have to check whether the student is pass or fail by checking if the percentage is less than 33 or not. So I want you all to perform this simple practical at home, and let me know if you face any kind of problem. You can write in the comment section or you contact in the group. So till then, thank you and have fun.